Hey there, Wall Street winners. Let's talk about a word that's being thrown about and used quite often these days incorrectly. And that word is trade surplus. So let's talk about this concept of a trade surplus because it is misunderstood. And I think if we bring some clarity to the word and the meaning from an economics perspective, it'll help to clarify a lot of things. So using Madagascar and vanilla extract as a product example, Madagascar produces 70 to 80% of the global supply of vanilla. Hence, the US buys a significant amount of its vanilla from Madagascar. In fact, in 2023, it bought about $737 million of vanilla. So Madagascar exports $737 million worth of vanilla to the US, to companies in the US that buy it and then put it into goods in the US. It's an input. It's like a natural resource is what we'll call it. So the US buys a lot of natural resources that are one component of a larger product. So baked goods, as the example here, is where vanilla would be used in a majority of examples. Madagascar is a relatively small country from a size perspective, from a population perspective, and from an economic wealth perspective. So it does not have a need to buy $700 million worth of American goods and import those back to Madagascar. So because of that, it only buys, let's say, $100 million worth of goods, which leaves about a $640 million trade deficit. Well, what the administration is doing right now with the 10% baseline reciprocal tariffs is it's saying that it is being treated unfairly by countries like Madagascar who have these huge trade surpluses and who are taking advantage of the United States. Madagascar isn't forcing the United States to buy its vanilla. The US and companies in the US are choosing to buy their vanilla from Madagascar. And because it produces so much of it and can't consume it all within its own country, it has an opportunity to export it and sell it internationally to countries like the US, leading to a trade surplus. So trade surpluses don't mean that one country is taking advantage of another country. In fact, it can be quite the opposite because companies like Costco and Walmart, who have huge market shares of the retail consumer in the US, have very strong negotiating power with suppliers of products like vanilla in countries like Madagascar. It's highly likely that there isn't just one vanilla producing company in Madagascar. There's probably tens, maybe hundreds of companies that produce vanilla and sell it both in country in Madagascar as well as internationally to companies like Walmart and Costco in the US and other international locations. But because Costco and Walmart have such great negotiating power, they're probably paying a lower price per unit or per bottle, per milliliter, however you want to measure it, than other customers, even in the US, that are buying the same vanilla. So deals are made and prices are negotiated between companies in these different countries. And it's through companies that want to buy the product because they know they can sell it for more than they're buying it for. Now, when you add a 10% tariff onto that product, what that means is that 10% increase in price becomes effective when it lands in the US. So the price of vanilla didn't increase in Madagascar, but if it's sold for $1 a bottle, it now sells for $1.10 a bottle. When it lands in the US, it still sells for $1 a bottle in Madagascar, but it's now $1.10 based on the tariff. The 10% gets collected by the US government. That's paid for by the importer, which would be Costco or Walmart. And then Costco and Walmart has to decide how they're going to pass along that additional 10% increase in their costs. And they typically do that to the US consumer. But that's the concept of a trade surplus. So trade surpluses, again, do not mean that one country is taking advantage of another country. I hope this helps in clarifying this concept. And if you want to learn more about overall economic concepts, the market narrative, stocks, stock strategy, investment strategies, give me a like and a subscribe and follow along to the channel. Good luck in your trades today.